After an assessment and its questions have been created, the next step is to configure settings. To do so, locate the assessment in the Working Copies tab of the table in the Test and Quizzes tool. Then, click its Action drop-down menu and select the Settings option. Numerous settings and options are available. We'll go through the most common settings and provide guidance to avoid the most common problems. General settings are configured in the About this Assessment section. To change the name of the assessment, edit the title field. To display introductory text to students before they take the assessment, edit the Description field. Student access for the assessment is set in the Availability and Submission section. To set the dates that the assessment is available and due, click the text field or the calendar icon. Select a date from the calendar, and use the sliders at the bottom to adjust the time. To limit the time students are given to complete an assessment, check the Set a Time Limit option. Then, use the Time drop-down menu to set the length of time students are allowed. By default, late submissions are accepted indefinitely. To limit late submissions, click the text field or the calendar next to Yes, Until. To disable late submissions, select the No, Not After Due Date option. Allowances can be granted for individual students in the Exceptions to the Time Limit and Delivery Date section. Grading settings are configured in the Grading and Feedback section. To generate a gradebook item for this assessment, check the Send Assessment Score to Gradebook Immediately option. Feedback settings include the option to provide feedback on submission. However, this option is only recommended for low-stakes or formative assessments that have auto-graded questions, such as multiple choice. If an assessment counts significantly towards the final course grade, or requires any manual grading, such as for essay response questions, we recommend selecting the option Feedback will be displayed to the student on a specific date. Then, set the release date far enough ahead to give yourself time to grade. If feedback is released too early, before manual grading can be completed, the score will only reflect auto-graded questions and therefore will be significantly low. This can be confusing and alarming for students. For assessments with manually graded questions, we also recommend unchecking the Send Assessment Score to Gradebook option. After grading is complete, this setting can be enabled in the published copy. Question navigation and display settings are configured in the Layout and Appearance section. For high-stakes assessments, we recommend the question layout option. Each question is on a separate page. When questions are placed on separate pages, student work is saved more frequently, which may prevent a loss of work from unintended technical disruptions. When finished configuring the settings, click Save, or if ready to move on to the publishing step, click Save Settings and Publish. After the settings have been configured, the final step is to publish the assessment. To do so, locate the assessment in the Working Copies tab of the Test and Quizzes tool. Click its Action drop-down menu and select Publish. To instead see how the assessment will appear to students, click Preview. Next, confirm the settings for the assessment and click Publish. When an assessment is published, a new copy of it will be created in the Published Copies tab. The working copy of the assessment will be retained. In the Status column, the published copy will be marked as active after the available date and before the due date. The Submitted column displays the number of students who've taken the assessment. To view and grade submitted assessments, click this number. We recommend preserving working copies of assessments after publishing. Only working copies can be copied into other sites, such as for future academic terms. Also, if the working copy of an assessment is deleted, it can't be restored from the published copy and would likely need to be recreated again from scratch. More information about the Test and Quizzes tool can be found in our other videos or by visiting the PLU Knowledge Base.